Hi, this is goforitRandy, and you know what? There are times when I have to warn people because right now in the state of Texas appears to be the first state in the United States to pass a law. Governor Greg Abbott passed a law that lays the foundation for the mark of the beast. And if this is duplicated in other states and another state and another state and another state, pretty soon the federal government steps in and makes it mandatory to follow along in this same kind of line of thinking, which leads to the mark of the beast. And I will go over all of this through this video, but let's get started here. We're going to show you some of the Senate in Texas voting on this bill, talking about this bill, defiling God's holy commandments in the process.
Thank you, Representative Noble. What is the fourth commandment?
Are you referring to my to the way it's written in the bill?
Yes.
Okay, right. Keep the Sabbath. It's about us being here on Saturday. Is that ironic or what?
So what does it mean to keep the Sabbath holy?
Well, I think it's. You want to get into theology here? I'd love to, if you'd like to. I think it's really important that we take a day of rest. I think God, who founded the world, didn't need rest, and yet He took a day of rest after He did creation. And I think He was a good example to us to take a day of rest, and that is enshrined in our rules in our Constitution, where it says accepting Sunday in our very early documents as a nation.
And so part of keeping the Sabbath holy is not working on the Sabbath?
That is, yeah.
And what
a
is
day of rest.
The Ten Commandments come from Judaism. What day is the Jewish Sabbath?
It is on Saturday.
And what day is it today?
It is Saturday. Here we are.
The Christian Sabbath is what day?
Sunday, in honor of the day that Jesus rose from the dead.
And we're scheduled to give this bill a final vote on what day of the week?
It's ironic, isn't it?
Would you be willing to postpone your bill so that we're not breaking the Ten Commandments by working on the Jewish or Christian Sabbath?
I love that you said that, because if we had not had your point of order the other day, we would have actually already completed that.
And so, Representative Noble, you're saying that you'd rather tell people to follow the Ten Commandments than follow it yourself? I
would have rather have had this bill passed the other day when it was time. And you know, that's really sad that we are under such a crunch in time now with the end of session. Our Texas forefathers only gave us 160 days to pass bills, and that's where we are in this session.
We as a legislature
140, I'm sorry, correction.
We as a legislature are about to force every teacher in the state to post the Ten Commandments in their classrooms.
If they are donated.
Do members of the Texas legislature follow the Ten Commandments?
Is that about the bill?
Your bill is about the Ten Commandments.
Yes,
I'm asking, do members of this legislature follow the Ten Commandments?
So again, this bill is about honoring our historical, educational, and judicial heritage with the displaying of the Ten Commandments.
The ninth commandment is, thou shalt not bear false witness. Are you aware of any legislators who have lied about anything?
That is, you know, there might be one coming up in a minute if you keep talking. We'll see.
The seventh commandment is, thou shalt not commit adultery.
Yes.
Do you think that members of the legislature should focus more on trying to follow the Ten Commandments rather than telling others to follow them?
Maybe they didn't have them posted.
I am, you know, it is incumbent on all of us to follow God's law, and I think that we would be better off if we did.
So here's the thing. You're either on God's team or you're on Satan's team. There is no other choice, okay? You're either on God's team or Satan's team. And these people at the Senate in Texas are sharing with you what team they prefer to be on. And it's certainly not God's team, because all they're doing is trying to do everything they can to defile God's law. And when you do that, and you're someone who is supposed to be upholding the law, who's supposed to be about what's right and not what's wrong, and instead all you're doing is trying to deceive people into following something that's ungodly, the bottom line is it's not looking good for these people. And look at what this is going to do to humanity. This is the beginning stages. This is how it gets started.
The ninth commandment is thou shalt not bear false witness. Are you aware of any legislators who have lied about anything?
There might be one coming up in a minute if you keep talking. We'll see. It is incumbent on all of us to follow God's law, and I think that we would be better off if we did.
So this legislative woman clearly does not follow God's law. Changing God's law from Saturday to Sunday is not following God's law. That's called sinning. And this woman has spent her whole time here talking about how to get away from God and follow men or women that are putting together ungodly laws that can send you to a place you don't want to go to. So here's the thing. The bottom line is the mark of the beast. For many people believe that the mark of the beast is going to be the Sunday law. That people like this are going to make laws that are going to be enforced where you can no longer work on Sunday. So they will start enforcing the Sunday law, which is already on the books. So bottom line is you will be forced to worship a God of their choice, not your choice, not the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, but their God. And if you're caught worshiping on Saturday now, and you are not working on Saturday, they will throw you into prison. Ultimately, they're going to start taking people's lives who are worshiping on Saturday because they worship our Lord Yeshua, Jesus Christ. And these people do not. And these people will be making your life miserable in the very near future if this keeps going. And again, that's a certainty. The Sunday law has already been passed. All they have to do is wake up one day and say, we're going to start enforcing the Sunday law. In which case, those of you who practice keeping the Sunday law will probably get a mark on your hand. And those who do not will not have that mark on their hand. And so that's how they will be able to separate you from the rest of the people. And again, you will probably be thrown in prison at first, and then worse things will happen down the line. So not a good day here on earth. People that are behind this are very serious about what they're doing right now. They are laying the groundwork for the mark of the beast, for the whole new system that they're going to be placing in place, and you will not be able to do the things that you're able to freely do today.